The grandfather clock in the hallway struck midnight. Its brass chimes were really loud in the halls of Hartley Manor. Emma put her face on the window of her attic bedroom. She was watching the snowflakes fall past the glass. Today was Emma's birthday. She did not think anyone in the house would remember it. Her stepmother, Vivian, had been making it clear, for a time, that Emma was just someone she had to take care of. Emma was a burden that Vivian got when she married Emma's father. This was before Emma's father died soon. Emma drew pictures on the window with her finger, making foggy spots because the room was cold. She could hear people laughing in the room where her stepsister Clarissa was talking to some men who wanted to marry her. Clarissa was really pretty and sure of herself. Their mom loved her a lot. Emma was not like that. She had figured out that it was better to be quiet and stay out of the way, at home. Emma made herself quiet so nobody would notice her. She just blended in. Emma felt like she did not really belong in her house, and that was why she liked to just sit by the window and look outside. A loud knock on the door made her jump. The door opened by itself without anyone saying "Come in." There was Vivian standing in the doorway. The light from the hallway made her look really elegant. Her face was different. It did not have the look of dislike or not caring that Emma was used to seeing. This time Vivian's face looked like she was thinking hard about something. She also looked a little happy about it. The look on her face was a mix of thinking and being pleased, which was something that Emma had never seen on her stepmother's face before. "Vivian told me to get dressed." She said it in a way that sounded really cold. "I had to wear the blue velvet gown." "The blue velvet gown is the one that's in the trunk." "The trunk is in the wing." Emma got up slowly. She was really confused. "Why is this happening to me?" she asked. "What is going on?" Emma wanted to know what was happening to her. "You need to listen to me. I am telling you what to do. There is a carriage waiting for us. We cannot make our visitor wait any longer. Questions are not important now, just do what I say. Our visitor is. We must go." Before Emma could ask questions, Vivian quickly left the room. All that was left was the smell of her nice perfume. Emma's hands shook as she picked up the dress that was lying on her bed. The dress was beautiful. It was a blue color with silver thread sewn into the top part. The dress was too nice for someone like Emma. This made her feel very cold inside. Emma thought about the dress again. The dress was just too fancy for Emma. Something was terribly wrong. 20 minutes later, Emma walked down the staircase. The dress fit her well, which was weird because she never got measured for it. Vivian was waiting at the bottom of the stairs for Emma. There was also a man standing there, and he was wearing all gray clothes. His face was covered with a hood so you could not see it. This man was standing still, like he was not even breathing. "This is the girl?" The figure's voice was neither male nor female, just hollow and ancient. Vivian said yes. She did not even look at Emma. "Emma Hartley is my husband's daughter," Vivian said. "Today Emma Hartley is 18 years old, which is what the contract says is required." Emma's confusion turned into panic fast. "What contract are you talking about?" she asked. "I do not know what you mean by contract. Can you tell me what this contract is about? What is going on with this contract?" Vivian turned to her. The chill in her green eyes made Emma feel really scared. Every generation the Hartley family has to give something to King Aldrich Nightshade of Shadowmere. This is a deal. The family has to offer one of their daughters to King Aldrich Nightshade of Shadowmere when she turns 18 years old. This is so the barrier that keeps the shadow creatures away from our land stays strong. The Hartley family does this every time a daughter of the Hartley family turns 18 years old. Your father should have told you about this. He is not here anymore, so now it is up to me to make sure the Hartley family does what it has to do to King Aldrich Nightshade of Shadowmere. Emma said, "This is not right. They are sending her to die." It just hit her. This was supposed to be for Clarissa. Clarissa is older than Emma, by 4 months. Emma whispered all of this because she was really scared. A little something flashed across Vivian's face. Was it guilt? I do not think so because it went away fast. Clarissa is my daughter, Vivian said. You are the daughter of your father. The contract says that a daughter, with Hartley blood has to be given to them. It does not say which daughter of Hartley blood has to be given. Emma said that you changed the records. Her voice got louder even when everything was falling apart for her. You told them something that was not true about how old we're, Emma said, looking at you with anger. In her eyes you lied to them about our ages. Vivian said, I took care of my child. That is what any mother does. Now you need to go. The carriage is going to take 3 days to get to Shadowmere. They will give you food and water for the trip. The gray figure moved forward fast. It was not a normal speed for a person, and it grabbed Emma's arm with fingers that felt very cold through her dress. Emma wanted to yell, to try and get away, to run fast as she could, but her body would not move. It was like she was stuck. This was not supposed to happen to Emma. Not on the day she was born. Not in this way. The gray figure was still holding Emma's arm, and Emma was still trying to make sense of what the gray figure was doing. Emma was being pulled towards the door when she saw Clarissa standing on the balcony above her. Clarissa was watching her, and her face looked funny because she seemed relieved and also a little ashamed. Emma and Clarissa looked at each other for a second, then Clarissa looked away. Went back inside where it was warm and safe. Emma was being dragged away from all that. It did not feel good. The door was getting closer and closer. Emma was really going to miss the warmth and safety of the place she was leaving behind, just like Clarissa had the warmth and safety of being inside. The carriage was really dark, like the middle of the night. It did not have any signs on it except for a silver picture on the door. This picture showed a crown with thorns and blood coming out of it. Emma was forced to go inside the carriage. Before Emma could think about getting out, the door closed quickly and was locked from the outside. The inside of the carriage was actually pretty nice. It had velvet seats and a small light that was not too bright. To Emma, the carriage felt like a fancy box that she could not get out of. The carriage was very uncomfortable for Emma, even though it looked nice. The journey was really scary. I was so tired. Vivian did what she said she would do. People gave Emma bread and water through a hole in the wall 2 times a day. Nobody talked to Emma. She just sat there. Looked out the little window. Emma saw the countryside change from farms with hills to big dark woods. These woods were so thick that even when the sun was high in the sky, it was still pretty dark because the trees blocked out most of the sunlight. On the evening, the carriage started going up. The air got really cold. When Emma looked outside, she saw that they were going up a road on a mountain. This road was cut into the side of the mountain, where the cliff faces were really steep. Below, she could hear the sound of waves hitting the rocks. Up above, dark storm clouds were gathering in waves, moving around a huge thing that went up from the top of the mountain like a big crown made of black stone. The mountain was really high. The carriage was still climbing. Emma could see the black stone crown getting closer and closer. The storm clouds were getting darker. The sound of the waves was getting fainter. Shadowmere Castle. This place was really pretty and really scary at the time. The towers were so high they looked like they were touching the sky. The walls were made of something that looked like glass, all in one piece. There were no lights on in any of the windows. You could not see anyone or anything moving around. The fortress of a monster is what it looked like. The monster's fortress was a scary thing to see. The carriage stopped in front of iron gates. These gates were so big. They opened without making a sound. The carriage went into a courtyard. It was lit up by blue fires that were floating in the air. The blue fires made everything look really weird, like it was underwater or something. When the door of the carriage finally opened, Emma got out. Her legs were. She was all alone except for the driver. He was a haired man and he got back on his seat and drove the carriage away. This left Emma standing by herself in the middle of the courtyard. The carriage drove away. Emma was still standing there looking around at the big courtyard and the huge iron gates and the blue fires that were still floating in the air. Emma said hello. Her voice was really quiet and shaky. It even sounded scary to her. She asked if anyone was there. The big wooden doors of the castle opened up. Emma saw a really big hallway. She felt like she should get out of there. She walked forward anyway. Where could she even go? The roads through the mountains were very bad. She did not have any food or water or know the way. The castle doors and the mountain roads were like two problems that Emma had to deal with. Emma was stuck, just like she was locked up with no way to get out. The castle was like a trap and Emma felt like she was in big trouble. The entrance hall was really something. It was cold. It was fancy. The floors were made of marble and they shone like they were wet. There were more of those floating flames. They lit up the whole room. A big staircase went up to the floor and then it split into two sets of stairs at a landing. There were tapestries on the walls and they showed pictures of battles between weird creatures that she did not know. The entrance hall was silent, the staircase was silent, the tapestries were silent. Everywhere there was complete silence. Then Emma heard the noise. It was like someone was hitting metal against a rock. It was very steady and slow. The person was coming down the stairs on the side and they were being very quiet. Emma's heart was beating fast in her chest when the person appeared in front of her. The man was really tall, tall, and he wore black clothes that made him almost invisible in the dark. What really got her attention though was his face. It was like someone had carefully cut out his features from a piece of stone. His hair was black like the bird that flies at night and it went all the way down to his shoulders. The man's eyes were pretty weird, they had a red glow but it was like he was looking right through her, not actually at her. The eyes of the man seemed to be staring at something and the black clothes of the man made him hard to see. The face of the man was what she kept looking at. He was using a cane to help him walk, she saw. His left leg did not move well and it dragged on the ground when he took a step. His jaw was. It looked like he was in pain. This man was King Aldrich Nightshade, the Lord of Shadowmere. King Aldrich Nightshade was a person who hurt young women to keep his dark powers strong. He got to the bottom of the stairs. Then he stopped. The stairs were behind him now. His head tilted a little to one side like he was trying to hear the music that the woman could not hear. The woman was there with him. When he started talking his voice was really deep. It sounded like he had been around for a long time, like the music itself had been speaking through him, the music that the woman could not hear. The stairs were quiet now. He was. His voice was deep and it had the weight of centuries, the centuries that had passed before the woman was even born. You are really scared. I can hear your heart beating fast from here, it is beating like a bird that wants to fly away. I can smell the fear in your blood. He stopped talking for a moment. Then he looked like he felt bad about something. I feel bad for what happened to you, Emma Hartley. I feel bad for what has to happen to Emma Hartley. Are you going to kill me? Emma asked. She was really surprised that her voice did not shake, all it sounded very steady. Aldrich's mouth did something that was like a smile, but not quite. He said, eventually all things die. I do not plan to take all of your blood tonight or any night soon. The tithe is for something than my need for blood. There is a hole in the world we live in, way down beneath this castle. Through this hole dark creatures are trying to get through and eat up everything around them. The tithe of blood helps me stop them. I am like a lock that keeps them from getting through. It takes a lot of power to keep that lock in place. Aldrich is the one who has to keep the creatures back, and that is why the tithe is so important to Aldrich. I do not have the power to do this by myself. The power is something that I need help with. He took a step closer to Emma and Emma made herself stand still. Emma did not want to seem scared. Emma would not let him see that she was afraid. The blood of the families has magic in it, Aldrich said. This magic is a part of the old power that used to be in charge here. The old family's blood is special. I just need a bit of the old family's blood every now and then to keep the barrier strong. The women who came before you, they all went home safely after they worked for me for a year. The old family's blood is what makes this possible. My stepmother thought I was not going to come, Emma said in a soft voice. Aldrich's eyes had something in them. He said, your stepmother did a bad thing. She sent you of her own daughter. She even changed some papers so nobody would know what really happened. Did you know that your stepmother did this to you? I had a feeling something was not right. The woman actually told me the truth before I was taken away. The woman admitted it to me before I was taken. Aldrich was quiet for a long time. Then he talked again. His voice was much harsher. So she has done something bad to the crown, and she has also put her own lands in danger. We will deal with that later. Now you must be very tired. I will get someone to take you to your room. You can sleep tonight. Tomorrow we will talk about what you cannot do while you are here and what we expect from you. Aldrich said you can rest now, and then tomorrow they will discuss the terms of your stay and what will be required of you. Emma looked around the hall. She said, someone, loud. The hall was really empty. Emma said, I have seen no one but you, to the person she was talking to. She was looking at the person. She was looking around the hall at the same time. Aldrich said this with a smile on his face. I have servants, he said. These servants are not, like the ones you are thinking of, the ones you might expect to have. Aldrich's servants are different. He hit his cane on the floor 2 times. Figures came out from the places, on the walls. These figures were not people. They were made of smoke and darkness. They could hardly look like humans. Emma took a breath and stumbled back. The smoke and darkness beings did not look very solid, they were mostly smoke and darkness. Emma looked at the smoke and darkness beings. She was very scared. Do not be afraid, Aldrich said to me. I could tell he did not really think I would listen to him. He seemed to know I would still be scared. These shadow servants are, like helpers, Aldrich explained. They have to do what I say. They cannot hurt you. The shadow servants will take care of you. Make sure you have everything you need to be comfortable. They will get you anything you want so you can relax. One of the shadow servants came forward. Told Emma to follow him. Emma looked back at Aldrich. Aldrich had already turned away from her. He was leaning on his cane heavily as he walked towards a corridor, on the right side. Emma was supposed to follow the shadow servant. She was still looking at Aldrich. Wait, Emma called out. Why do you need to use that cane? You are the king, so you should be really strong. People say that you were put under a curse, that something is wrong with your body. The stories about you say that your body is not working like it should. You are the king, so this is really surprising to me. Aldrich. He did not turn around. The stories people tell are true. Keeping the barrier up is really hard on me. It uses up all my energy. It even takes more than that. It has made me very weak. I cannot see like normal people do. I am stuck in this castle. The reason I am stuck here is that I can barely walk a ways without falling down. I do not want to be a person, Emma Hartley. The barrier and the power it needs make me a bad person. I have to be that way to keep it going. There is no one else to hold back the darkness. He kept walking. Then he was gone into the darkness. The servant put a hand on Emma's arm. It was really warm even though it was made of smoke. The servant led Emma up the stairs. They went down hallways that turned a lot until they got to a big heavy door made of wood. The door swung open when they got close to it. The servant and Emma walked through the door. The room beyond was really beautiful. It had a bed with 4 posts and it was covered in a deep red velvet that looked very nice. The fireplace was making a noise and it was warm and welcoming. There were windows that looked out at the mountain peaks. It was night time now and all she could see was her own face in the window because it was dark outside. The room was beautiful. The mountain peaks were outside the windows of the room. The shadow servant pointed to a table with a lot of food on it. This was not plain food like bread and water. There was meat and fresh vegetables and fruit that looked really fresh like it was picked from the garden that morning. Emma's stomach was growling loudly, reminding her that she had not eaten much all during her long trip. The food looked amazing, to Emma. Emma sat down to eat by herself in this fancy place that felt like a jail. She made a promise to herself. Emma would not let people push her around. Emma would not just sit back. Accept what was happening to her. Vivian had sent Emma here to die of Clarissa and Aldrich needed Emma's blood to keep being in charge. Emma was still alive, still able to think, still able to make her own decisions. If she was going to make it through this, she had to figure out the truth about this place. She had to know what Aldrich really was. What was the barrier actually keeping out? Why did they have the tithe in the first place? Knowing the truth was very important. It was the thing that might keep her safe right now. The truth about Aldrich and the barrier and the tithe was what she needed to survive. Emma ate her meal slowly so she could gather her strength. The day the Vampire King would be waiting for her. The Vampire King was going to be a test for Emma. Tomorrow Emma would face the king. She was not going to be a girl when she faced the Vampire King. Emma was going to be a person who wanted to take control of her life. The Vampire King was not going to scare her. Emma was ready to face the Vampire King. The shadow servant stayed in the corner watching over everything. Emma was done eating. She went to the bed. She was really tired. That tiredness was stronger than her fear. When she fell asleep, it was not a sleep. She had dreams about eyes that were red, like blood, and a very old kind of darkness. She also dreamed about blood and things that blocked her way. She dreamed about the shadow servant and a choice that Emma would have to make soon. The shadow servant was still there waiting and watching over Emma. Aldrich was in his rooms in the castle. He stood by the window resting against the frame and looking out. He did not see the stars or the moon. The barrier was still there pushing down on him, making him feel weak. This was happening all the time now. The pain in Aldrich's leg was always there, reminding him of what the curse had done to him. Aldrich felt the curse and the barrier. They were making him feel tired and hurt. He thought about the girl, Emma. The way her heart beat was different from all the others. It was stronger and steadier even when she was really scared. And her blood was special. It did something to him that had never happened before. When Emma walked into the castle, he felt a big surge of power go through the walls, like she made the castle stronger by being there. He thought about Emma and how she had affected the castle. The girl, Emma, had changed things. What was she? Aldrich closed his eyes. It did not make a difference to the way he saw things. The next day was going to be the day he found out the truth. The day he would have the first feeding. Then he would know if Emma Hartley was just another person who got taken by the tithe, or if Emma Hartley was something really bad and really special. Outside, the storm that had been brewing finally broke, and rain lashed against the castle walls like the tears of forgotten gods. Morning came to Shadowmere Castle. It was not sunny. The shadows just got a little lighter. Emma woke up. She saw a beautiful dress. It was a green color and it was laid out on the chair near her bed. There was a note with the dress. The note said, "Wear this. Come to the library when you are ready. Follow the flames." The note was written in nice handwriting. Emma saw that the dress was really pretty and the note was very fancy. She had to go to the library. She had to follow the blue flames to get there. The blue flames would show her the way to the library, at Shadowmere Castle. She got dressed fast, her fingers having a hard time with the complicated laces on her dress. The dress fit her right, it was tight around her body, in a way that made her feel pretty and a little scared at the same time. When she opened the door to her room, she saw a line of fire floating in the air. It was going down the hallway like little bits of fire that you could follow. The library was really big, it went up 3 floors. Had shelves cut right into the stone walls. There were books all different sizes and really old, and the air had a nice smell of old leather and parchment. Aldrich was sitting at a desk, near the middle of the room, his fingers moving over the bumps on a book that was written in a special kind of language that you can feel. Aldrich did not look up when the woman came into the library. The library had a lot of books and Aldrich was reading one of these books. He said, "You did not sleep well. I could hear you moving around in your bed from far away, all the way from 3 floors down. How can a person sleep well in a place like this?" Emma said, walking closer to him. The light was not very bright. She could see him better than she did the night before. His face was really handsome, more handsome than she thought, but there were dark circles under his eyes and his skin looked sick. Emma looked at the man she had met. She thought that the dark circles, under his eyes and his sick-looking skin made him look very tired. The man looked very tired. The woman said to him, "You look worse than I do." She said this before she could stop herself from saying it. A small smile came onto his lips. The barrier got a lot weaker. Night. Somebody tried to break through. I had to spend most of the night making the seals stronger. He shut the book. Looked at her with those weird eyes that glowed. "So that is why you are here." "I need blood, Emma. The thing is, will you give me your blood on your own, or will I have to take it from you? I need to feed Emma and I have to do it." Emma's heart started beating fast, but she made sure her voice sounded calm. "What happens if I say no?" "I am going to take it, no what, but it will be a lot worse for both of us if I have to. The blood you give me on your own is much stronger than the blood I take from you against your will. I would really rather not hurt you. I want the blood given willingly because that is when it has the power. The blood taken by force is not as good as the blood you give me freely. I do not want to hurt you, so I wish you would just give me the blood I need." She took a look at him. He was really powerful. He could hurt her very easily, but he looked extremely tired. He even looked a little weak. "If I say yes, what will happen to me after that?" "You are going to feel weak for hours. This is because your body needs to recover. You should eat something. Get some rest. The shadow servants are here to take care of you. I only take the things that I really need from you. I do not take anything extra. The shadow servants will make sure you are okay." Emma took a breath. "What if my blood is not enough? What will happen then to my blood? Then we will find another solution. I think that will not be a problem." He got up slowly, using the desk to help him stand. "Your family history is older than you think, Emma. I can feel the power coming from you now. The power is coming from you. That is really something. You are not like the people who came before you, Emma." She held out her wrist. She had made up her mind. "Then let us get this thing over with now," she said with a sense of finality, referring to the decision regarding her wrist. Aldrich walked towards her. You could tell it was really hurting him to take each step. He took her wrist. His fingers felt really cold on her skin. "This is going to feel weird at first," he said. "Do not try to fight it. The more you try to resist the thing that is happening, the pain you will feel from the Aldrich thing that he is doing to her. Aldrich wants her to know that she should just let Aldrich do what he needs to do to her." He lifted Emma's wrist to his mouth. She felt his breath on her skin. It was really warm. Then she felt a pain as his fangs went into her skin. Emma gasped. The pain did not last long. It changed into something. Emma felt this feeling, and it was not pain anymore. His fangs were still in her skin. Now Emma was feeling something else because of the vampire's bite. She felt this tingling feeling in her body, like her nerves were waking up all of a sudden. Aldrich was taking her blood. It did not feel like he was sucking it out of her or anything. It felt more like they were becoming connected, like there was a kind of energy flowing between Aldrich and her, and it was going back and forth between them. Aldrich and her were forming this link, a kind of bridge that let energy flow from her to Aldrich and from Aldrich to her. Then she saw it. She was connected to Aldrich, so she could see what Aldrich saw. The world was like a picture of heat and energy. She could feel the protection under the castle. It was like a net of power that was beating like a heart. She could feel the things on the side of the protection pushing against it, looking for weak spots. These creatures were very hungry and mean, waiting for any chance to get through the protection of the castle. The creatures of hunger and malice were waiting to break through the barrier beneath the castle. The vision got stronger. Emma understood that she was looking at Aldrich's memories. She saw a war that happened a time ago. There was a woman, with silver hair. She was doing magic. Her face was all scrunched up with anger. Aldrich felt a lot of pain when the curse hit him. He could not see well and his legs gave out. Then there were years where he was stuck in the castle. He had to eat the tithe to keep the things from getting in. The castle had a wall that kept the shadow creatures away. Emma saw all of this in Aldrich's memories. Then everything just stopped. Aldrich pulled away from her. Stumbled backward. Aldrich's eyes were really wide, with shock. For the time since she had met Aldrich, Aldrich looked really shaken. The man asked what the other person did. He said it really quietly. Emma looked down at her wrist. The cut on her wrist was all better now, it had only left 2 marks. That was not what surprised her so much. Her skin had a glow to it, like a warm yellow light that went in and out with every beat of her heart. Emma's skin was really glowing, it was a golden color that kept pulsing with every heartbeat of her heart. The woman told me that she did nothing. Then she asked me what happened. Aldrich looked at his hands. He bent his fingers. Then he moved his legs. He let go of the desk slowly. He stood up all by himself. Aldrich did not need any help to stand. He did not look like he was hurting. He took 1 step forward. Then he took another step. His walk was normal. He did not use a cane. Aldrich moved around smoothly like an animal that is very good at hunting and is strong. "This is impossible," he said slowly. "I have not been able to walk without feeling pain for 200 years. He looked at Emma with a lot of surprise. "Your blood did something. It did not just help keep the barrier strong. Emma's blood actually healed me at a little bit. The pain is not completely gone. I can feel that Emma's blood has made a big difference." Emma felt really dizzy. She did not know if it was because of the blood she lost or because she was in shock. Emma said, "I saw your memories, I saw the woman who put a curse on you. This woman had hair and she was a sorceress." "Seraphine," Aldrich said in a voice. "She was the woman I was going to marry before I became a vampire. I was turned into a vampire so I could watch over the barrier. Seraphine felt hurt by what I did. She was very angry with me. So Seraphine put a curse on me. This curse means that every time I try to keep the barrier safe it hurts me a bit. It is like I am slowly dying. Seraphine wanted me to suffer because I chose to become a vampire. She wanted me to pay for what I did. The barrier and my life as a vampire are connected to Seraphine and what she did to me. That's horrible. She loved me. I hurt her. People can be really mean when they are hurt." He walked to the window, still surprised that he could walk around again. "You, Emma, you did something amazing. You helped fix part of her curse by drinking her blood once. That should not have happened unless you have a lot of magic inside you, more than anyone else with magic has ever had before." Before Emma could say anything, a cold wind came through the library. It put out some of the flames that were floating in the air. The library got very cold fast and ice started to form on the windows. Aldrich turned around. His face looked very angry. They have arrived. I did not think they would be here soon. The people I was waiting for are here now. Who? The Inquisitors are the people who work for the Council. They are like the police for vampires. I think they knew something was up when I drank your blood. He took Emma's hand. Listen to me. When the Inquisitors get here you should not say anything unless they ask you a question. You must not be scared. You must not be rude. You have to be calm and quiet like the Inquisitors do not even exist. What will these people do? They have to make a decision. I am wondering what they will choose to do. These people are the ones who have to figure out what to do. Ask us anything you want to know. Look into what's happening to my condition. If they find out what you really are they will come after you. The Council has been looking for someone like you for a long time. They would use you to make their armies stronger to help them get what they want. The Council would do this because they want to be in control. They want to use you to fuel their plans and make them happen. The main doors of the library swung open wide and 3 people walked in. These people were wearing red robes and you could not see their faces because they had silver masks on that looked like skulls. The person in the front was holding a stick with a crystal on top and this crystal was glowing with a bad kind of energy, a dark energy that seemed really powerful. The library was quiet before. Now it felt scary because of these 3 people and their dark energy. The main doors of the library were still open. The 3 figures, in red robes just stood there making everyone feel uncomfortable. Lord Aldrich Nightshade, the figure said. Its voice was not really a man's voice or a woman's voice. We noticed something weird is going on with the magic around Shadowmere. You are walking by yourself, Lord Aldrich Nightshade, without any help. This is very strange, Lord Aldrich Nightshade. It does not usually happen this way. Aldrich said this in a voice. I am allowed to take food from the tithe. He went on to say, the contract is clear about this. Aldrich repeated that the contract is clear. The contract allows you to keep the barrier up, it does not let you get rid of a curse that was properly put on you. The Inquisitor took a step closer to him. Looked at him carefully. You are a lot stronger now. The Inquisitor said this because he could see the change in him. This change happened in one night. This means the girl you took the tithe from is not like girls. The tithe you took from this girl is very special. The Inquisitor was very interested in the girl who gave you the tithe. The Inquisitor turned to Emma. She felt the weight of the Inquisitor's masked gaze on her. It was like someone was pushing down on her. The Inquisitor said, "Stepchild." Emma felt scared. She did not know what to do. The Inquisitor was looking at her. Emma felt like the Inquisitor could see right through her. Emma did what she was told. Stood in front of the 3 people. The main Inquisitor put out a hand with a glove on it. Touched Emma's forehead. Away the crystal on the staff started to shine more and it kept getting stronger and brighter. Extraordinary, the Inquisitor said slowly. The girl has the blood of the kings in her. This is powerful stuff. The Hartley family managed to keep this a secret for a long time. How did they do it? The Inquisitor thought about the Hartley family and their secret. The Hartley family had the bloodline of the kings and they kept it hidden. Aldrich said this really fast. They had no idea, Aldrich said. I did not know what she was either, not until after she was fed, Aldrich said. The Inquisitor said, then it is fortunate that the Inquisitor and the people with the Inquisitor arrived when the Inquisitor and the people with the Inquisitor did. The Inquisitor let go of Emma. Then turned back to face Aldrich. Emma is too valuable to the Inquisitor and the people, with the Inquisitor to waste her on a barrier that is not very important. The Inquisitor will take Emma with the Inquisitor to the capital. The Council will decide what the Council wants to do with Emma. No, Aldrich said in a voice. His tone was final. She is under my protection as the tithe, he said. The contract gives me authority over the tithe for the duration of her service, to the tithe. The contract is something that we can change if we need to. We can make changes to the contract. Not without my consent. The room was getting really uncomfortable. The other two inquisitors went to stand on either side of their leader. They put their hands on the weapons that were hidden under their clothes. Emma could feel the power in the air. It was like the noise that lightning makes before a storm. The power was building up. It felt like something was going to happen. The inquisitors were ready for something, and Emma could feel the tension in the room. It was like the air was electric, with the power of the inquisitors. Then Aldrich did something that really surprised everyone in the room. He got down on one knee in front of Emma. He took Emma's hand. The man looked up at her. Said that there is one way the contract cannot be broken. This is if she agrees to become his bonded mate, which's like a blood marriage. This blood marriage would connect her life to his life, making them like one person under the law of the vampires. The council would not be able to do anything to her without starting a war with him. They cannot do that right now because they have to keep the barrier up. The barrier has to be maintained. The council cannot afford to start a war with him while that is going on. Emma looked at him. Her mind was all over the place. This situation was really crazy. She had met him that morning. If she did not do this, the vampire council would take her away and use her as a living battery. They would suck the life out of the vampire council's living battery, which was her, until the council's living battery, which was her, was completely empty. She wanted to know what this bond would mean. What would this bond entail? She asked in a voice. Our lives will be connected forever. If I die, you will die too. If you die, I will die as well. You will get some of my things, like my strength and how long I live. I will get to use your power. Only if you want to share it with me. The thing is, we will be stuck together for long as we are both alive. We will be like two people who are tied together. That is how it will be for our whole lives. Our lives will be like one life. What happens to one of us will happen to the other because our lives will be linked. Emma said that could be a long time. Her voice was barely loud enough to hear. Aldrich looked at her with his eyes. She saw that he was telling the truth. He really needed her to believe him. She also saw respect in his eyes. He said, I know you did not want this to happen. I promise you, Emma Hartley, I will keep you safe. I will do everything to protect you. You will not be trapped here. You will be equal to me, my friend, my partner, Emma Hartley. I will make sure of that, Emma Hartley. The lead inquisitor laughed. It was a harsh sound. The inquisitor said, she is a child. The child knows nothing about the world of the inquisitor. This is the inquisitor trying to manipulate people. Aldrich and the council of the inquisitor will figure out what the inquisitor is doing. Emma said, I am 18 years old. She turned to face the inquisitor. That is old enough for me to make my decisions, she said. I have decided on this. Emma looked back at Aldrich. She nodded at him. I agree to the bond with Aldrich, she said. I want the bond with Aldrich to happen, Emma said. Aldrich stood up. For the time Emma saw real feelings on his face. She saw relief and gratitude. She also saw something that looked like love. Aldrich took out a knife from his belt. He cut his palm with the knife. Then he gave the knife to Emma. Emma took the knife. Her hand was not shaking. She made a cut on her palm just like Aldrich did with the knife. Emma and Aldrich held hands. Their blood mixed together. When their cuts touched, a lot of power suddenly filled the room. The flames that were floating in the air changed from blue to gold. It got really hot. Emma felt a big change happening inside of her. She could feel Aldrich's power in her mind. His strength was going into her, and at the time her own power was going into Aldrich. Emma felt Aldrich's presence. It was like his power and her power were connecting, making them stronger together. The world suddenly became sharper. The colors were really bright. The sounds were very clear. She could hear the sound of people's hearts beating. She could smell the magic that was on the Inquisitor's clothes. She could feel the special wall under the castle like it was a part of her own body. Then she saw Aldrich, really saw him, not just with her eyes but with every single one of her senses. Aldrich was beautiful, he was terrifying, and he was completely hers. The magic of Aldrich was around her. She knew that Aldrich belonged to her. The light went away. They were standing together. They still had their hands held together. The cuts were all better now. They left scars that looked the same on their hands. The scars were a reminder of what happened to them. The cuts had healed. The scars were still there, on their skin. These scars were a match. Aldrich said, "It is done." His voice sounded strong now. Emma is now Emma Nightshade, the Queen of Shadowmere. She is the one I am bonded to. According to the law of the vampires, Emma Nightshade is under my protection all the time. The lead Inquisitor did not say a word for a long time. Then they nodded their head a bit. The Council is going to find out about this. The Council will not be happy about it. The Council will have something to say. The Council can come and tell me they are not happy if they want to, Aldrich said. The bond between us is settled. The Council cannot do anything to stop this bond without hurting us both. The bond is. That is that. The Council will just have to accept the bond between us. The three Inquisitors left without saying anything, their robes moving across the floor like big red stains. When the doors shut behind the Inquisitors, Aldrich felt a little weak. The weight of what the Inquisitors had done was really getting to him. Emma asked him if he was doing okay. She held on to him to help him stand up straight. "I am feeling really good now, better than I have felt in a long time, and that is because of you. We did something today and now we have some very powerful enemies. The Council is one of them. The Council is not going to forget what the Council did today. The Council will remember this for a time. Then we will face them together." Emma looked at the scar on her palm. "I can feel the person I am talking about. Their thoughts and their emotions are really clear to me. It is a strange thing." Emma thought about the scar on her palm and the person she was talking about. The bond between us works both ways. I can feel the person that you're too. I can feel your courage and your determination. He smiled a bit. I can also feel your terror, which you're really good at hiding. Emma said she is really scared. She is also very mad. She is mad at her stepmother for getting rid of her. Emma is mad at the system too. It is not right that the system thinks people are things to be used. Now Emma has some control. She is going to use her power to do something. Emma wants to make a change with the power she has now. Aldrich looked at Emma Nightshade for a long time. He said, "You are not what I thought you would be, Emma Nightshade. I thought I was getting someone who would fight for me. Now I think I might have found someone who will actually help me, Emma Nightshade." Emma walked to the window. Looked out at the mountains. The Hartley situation and the tithe system were really bothering her. She said, "We will just have to wait and see what happens." First, Emma needed to make sure her position was safe. Then Emma had to do something about the Hartley situation. After that, Emma wanted to change the tithe system. Emma did not want to be a queen of a kingdom where people were forced to give up things they did not want to give up. Emma wanted to be a queen. The tithe system was not fair. Emma knew it. Behind her, Aldrich laughed quietly. This was a sound that showed he was really happy, the first time he had a good laugh in a very long time, like decades. He said, "Yes. He thinks that the queen will be really good if it is you. The queen is going to be you. You will do a great job." Over the few weeks Emma trained really hard. Aldrich was her teacher. He showed her how to use her new vampire abilities. She got better at feeling the barrier that kept her safe and making it stronger on her own, so Aldrich did not need to drink her blood much. Emma also learned how to fight using the darkness to her advantage. She got really fast and strong, like a vampire. She could even move around quickly and quietly just like the vampires do. She found out more about the kingdom of Shadowmere that she was in charge of now. Shadowmere is not a castle, it is a big area that covers hundreds of miles. This area has people and vampire citizens living in it. They have a system called the tithe system that has been around for 500 years. This system is not working well anymore. Not many families have the old bloodlines as they used to. The families that still have these old bloodlines are getting really upset. The kingdom of Shadowmere is having problems because of this. Emma came up with a system for blood donation. The idea was that volunteers would learn how to donate blood in a way. They would get a compensation for doing it. And they would take turns doing it. The same person would not have to do it all the time. This was a change and some of the older vampires did not like it. Aldrich supported Emma and the new system for blood donation fully. He thought the new system for blood donation was an idea. The relationship between Emma and Aldrich evolved beyond the bond that they shared. Emma and Aldrich spent long evenings in the library. They would talk about philosophy and history. Aldrich played the piano. It was beautiful. The music filled the castle. It was the first time that the castle had music in centuries. Emma found out that she was really good at theory. Emma created ways to make the barrier stronger. These were things that even Aldrich had not thought of before. Emma and Aldrich worked together on the barrier. They fell in love slowly and carefully. This was not a love that was forced or fake like when two people get because it is good for their families or careers. It was love the kind that comes from the heart. They were a team, two people who were equal and worked together. They found each other when things were tough. They decided to make their lives brighter together. Love was what they had, love, and they both knew it. They were two people who had found each other, love. They were happy to have love in their lives, love that they shared. The people were happy. This happiness was not going to last. There were people who wanted to cause trouble. In the capital city, the Vampire Council was making plans. At Hartley Manor, Vivian was thinking of ways to get what she wanted. Under the castle, the shadow creatures were waiting quietly, very hungry for the world above to have a weak moment so they could attack. The shadow creatures and the Vampire Council and Vivian were all waiting for something to go wrong with the barrier that kept the world above safe from the shadow creatures and the Vampire Council and Vivian. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine not just Emma and Aldrich's fate, but the future of every kingdom under vampire rule. 3 months after the blood bond, Emma was standing in the throne room of Shadowmere Castle. She looked like a vampire queen now. Emma was wearing a black silk gown with silver thread that shone like stars when the light hit it. The crown on her head was made of iron and had rubies that seemed to beat with her own heartbeat. Emma was not the scared girl who came to the castle in a carriage a while back. Now she was the one with all the power, the queen of Shadowmere Castle, and she really looked the part. Emma, the queen, was in charge now. Before her were 50 volunteers from the villages. These were men and women who wanted to be part of the new blood donor program. The blood donor program was a thing for them. They would get training. They would get paid for what they do. They would also be honored for helping people. This was a change. Before, families had to give up their daughters. Now the blood donor program was taking its place. The new system was fair because it was based on people choosing to help and everyone getting something out of it. The old way of doing things, where families had to give up their daughters, was coming to an end. The blood donor program was a way of doing things. Aldrich stood beside her throne. He did not need his cane anymore. You could see how strong he was now in the way he moved. Aldrich. She had changed Shadowmere a lot. It was not a place like it used to be. Now it felt like a place where people could have hope. Some people were not happy about all the changes that had been made to Shadowmere. The doors swung open fast and a messenger came running in. He was hurt, there was blood coming out of his shoulder. "My lord, my lady," he said, trying to catch his breath. Lord Cassius of the Eastern Territories is coming here with a group of soldiers. Lord Cassius is demanding to see you. He wants to talk to you. Emma and Aldrich looked at each other. Cassius was a powerful vampire lord on the council. He was extremely old. Had no mercy. If Cassius had brought an army with him, then this visit from Cassius was definitely not a visit from Cassius. Aldrich said, "How many things are there?" 200 soldiers. Elite fighters, all of them. They will be at our gates within the hour. Emma said, "We need to get the volunteers out of here now. We have to take the volunteers to the levels. The volunteers will be safer there because the barriers are really strong. We do not want any civilians to get hurt, so we need to keep the civilians from where the fighting is going to happen. The volunteers and the civilians have to be protected." The throne room was empty now. Aldrich turned to face her. He said, "Cassius wants you. He really wants you. Cassius has been looking for a source, like you, since the Inquisitors told him what you are. Cassius is not going to give up. He will not leave without a fight because Cassius wants you that badly. Then we give him one." Emma felt power running through her body, the connection with Aldrich making her stronger. "We have been getting ready for this for a time, 3 whole months. The wall around the castle is stronger than it has ever been before. The castle is totally ready to defend itself. And we have something that he does not have, something that will give us an edge over him. The castle defenses are at capacity and the barrier is stronger because of this thing we have." "What is that?" Emma took Aldrich's hand and this golden light came out where their skin touched. "He is one vampire," Emma said, "no matter how strong he is. The vampire is one vampire, however strong the vampire is. We are 2 people with the strength of an army, the army that is inside us, the strength of 2 people, Emma and Aldrich together." The hour went by fast. Emma and Aldrich went to their places on the walls of the castle. They looked down. Saw Cassius' army getting ready. Cassius himself was on a black horse at the front. His armor was shining even though it was not very bright. Cassius was a looking man, but in a mean way. He had hair that was almost white and eyes that looked like ice. Emma and Aldrich were watching Cassius and his forces from the castle ramparts. The castle ramparts were where Emma and Aldrich were standing. Cassius' forces were below them. "Aldrich Nightshade," Cassius said loudly so everyone could hear him. He was saying that the council had a deal for Aldrich Nightshade. If Aldrich Nightshade gave them the girl, then Aldrich Nightshade could keep his kingdom. If Aldrich Nightshade said no, then they would take the girl anyway and destroy Aldrich Nightshade's castle. Aldrich said, "Emma is the one I am meant to be with." He spoke in a firm tone. "Emma is not something that can be given away. The bond between you 2 can be broken. This will definitely kill you both. We can bring the girl back to life. The girl's power is really important. We cannot let it stay with you because you are not capable of handling it." Cassius. His fangs were showing. "You were always weak, Aldrich," he said. "You are much like a human and you care about people too much. The council made a mistake when they trusted you with the barrier, the magical barrier that protects everyone. The council should never have given you this responsibility. The barrier is very important. You are not the right person to take care of it." Emma stepped forward. Everyone looked at her. "Lord Cassius, I am going to give you one chance to leave. Take your soldiers. Go away. If you do this, I will forget that you insulted me, Lord Cassius. I will forget what you did, Lord Cassius, if you just leave now." Cassius laughed. "You are talking big for someone who's just a kid trying to be a queen. The queen has only been in charge for a month. Cassius has been in charge for thousands of years. The queen should step down before she does something. Cassius knows what it takes to be a leader and the queen does not. The queen should listen to Cassius. Do what Cassius says. Cassius is the one with all the experience and the queen is a beginner." Emma said, "Well," and then she raised her hand. The ground that Cassius' army was standing on started to shake badly. Emma said, "You were warned," to Cassius' army. The thing that Aldrich had kept going for a long time was not just under the castle. It went on for miles and miles around like a big web of magic. Emma had taken a lot of time to figure out how it worked, to see how the magic moved. Now she was using it. Not to stop the bad things in the dark, she was using the magic to fight against what was happening up above. The magic that Aldrich had made was very strong. Emma was trying to use it to stop the threat, above the castle. The earth really split open between the castle and the army. This big gap just appeared out of nowhere. From the cracks these things came out. They were, like tendrils of light. This was the energy of the barrier itself, the castle's barrier. They wrapped around the soldiers' legs. They could not move. The soldiers were stuck. Cassius' horse got really scared. It reared up in panic. Cassius, the lord, had a hard time staying on his horse. He barely managed to stay mounted on his horse. The barrier's golden light was still wrapped around the soldiers' legs, holding the army in place in front of the castle. "What is going on here?" he said in a tone. "The barrier is not supposed to be used like this. The barrier is meant to keep out the shadow creatures, that is all it's for. The shadow creatures are what the barrier is supposed to hold back." "That is what you were taught," Emma said in a voice. "The old ideas do not apply to me. The barrier is made of magic. Magic can be controlled by someone who knows how it works. I know more about magic than anyone else alive. I know how the barrier works and what it can do. The magic that makes the barrier is very powerful. I understand this magic better than anyone." She made a fist and the golden threads got even tighter. The soldiers yelled out because the energy was burning through their protective gear. Cassius had to get off his horse and pull out his sword, then he started swinging it at the light that was trying to grab him. The golden light was really strong. Cassius was having a hard time fighting it. The golden threads were around him, trying to wrap around him. "You are making a mistake," Cassius shouted. "The council will say we have to go to war because of this. Every single vampire kingdom will come together to fight against the kingdom. The vampire kingdom will be in a lot of trouble because every vampire kingdom will be against the kingdom. Let them come." Aldrich went to stand next to Emma. His power started to rise up. The shadows at his feet were not hurting him anymore. They were like tools that he could use whenever he wanted. "We are not going to bow down to the council," Aldrich said. "The council treats humans like animals and vampires, like things they can use. Emma and I have an idea. We want to work and respect each other. Emma and I are offering a way. If you want to join Emma and I, you can. If you try to stop Emma and I, we will stop you." Cassius' face got all twisted up with anger. He did not like it when people disobeyed him, especially not someone like Emma who he thought was not as good as him. Cassius let out a roar and then he threw himself forward. He was moving fast like an old vampire. Cassius got to the ramparts in a few seconds and he had his sword pointed right at Emma's heart. Cassius was still really mad. He was coming for Emma. Aldrich stopped him before he could get to her. He jumped in the way. Their swords hit each other with a loud noise that sounded like thunder. They were fighting fast. It was hard to see what was happening. They were hitting each other with blows that would be deadly to normal people. Aldrich was moving faster than he had in a long time. The blood of Emma had made him strong again, but Cassius had been around for a long time and had a lot of experience. Cassius had the advantage because of his age and all the things he had been through. He was fighting against Aldrich. Emma did not just stand there doing nothing. At the time that Aldrich was fighting Cassius, Emma turned her attention to the army that was below them. She knew she could not kill all of the army, and the truth is, she did not want to kill them. The army was made up of soldiers who were just following the orders that they had been given. They were not people by choice. The army was just doing what they had to do. So what Emma could do was try to incapacitate the army, that way they would not be able to fight. She went deeper into the barrier. took out a lot of energy. Her body started to shine with a light. It was so bright that the soldiers had to cover their eyes. Then she let the energy go. It moved across the battlefield in a big wave. The battlefield was filled with the light, from the energy that she released. She used a lot of energy from the barrier to make this happen. Every single soldier that she touched fell to the ground. They were not dead. They were unconscious. The force of her power was too much for them to handle. It only took a second and Cassius' entire army was lying on the ground completely still and unresponsive. The power of her touch was really something to see. Cassius' army was totally overwhelmed by her. Cassius was standing on the ramparts when it hit him. What had really gone down? His eyes got really wide because he could not believe it. He said, "You took out 200 of the fighters in just one attack. That is just not possible. No fighter should be that strong. The Cassius thing is that you took down 200 fighters in one attack." Cassius thought that was impossible for any fighter to do. Emma said this softly. "I am not a source," she said. "I am the source. I am the one like me, in a really long time. 1,000 years. The source, that is what I am. I will not let you or anyone else use me. I will not be used by you or anyone else because I am the source." Emma's display was really something. It caught Cassius off guard. He did not see Aldrich's strike coming until it was too late. The blade cut across Cassius' sword arm. It was a cut. Cassius stumbled back. Blood was flowing from the wound on his arm. The strike from Aldrich's blade had done some damage to Cassius. Aldrich said, "Yield," in a voice. He told the person that they had lost the fight. The person's army was beaten. The other person was also hurt. Aldrich said, "Yield and leave with your life," which means the other person should give up and go away so they do not die. For a moment it seemed like Cassius might say no. His pride was fighting with the need to stay alive. You could see it in his eyes. Then slowly he put down his sword. "This is not over," he said in a tone. "The council is going to find out about this. The council will not let you keep her. The council will do something about it." Emma said this as she went to stand with Aldrich. "The council can try to take her if they want. They will not succeed. They will fail just like you have. You should tell them that. Tell the council that the time when they could force people to pay tithes is over. Tell them that Shadowmere is free now. We are independent. We will work with any kingdom that wants to be our friend. We will treat them as equals. We will not bow down to anyone who tries to boss us around. Shadowmere will never again be controlled by people who are mean and unfair." Cassius looked at them with a lot of anger in his eyes. He was really mad. He knew he had lost the fight. So he did something and shadows came to take him and his hurt soldiers away. The fight was over. The battlefield was empty, in just a few moments. Cassius and his soldiers were gone. The battlefield was empty now because Cassius and his soldiers had left. Emma felt really tired all of a sudden. It was like something had hit her. Aldrich caught Emma before Emma could fall down. He was there to help Emma. "That was amazing," he said quietly. "It was also very bad, for you. You used much power. You could have hurt yourself badly." Emma smiled weakly. She said, "But I did not." Then she looked at Aldrich. Told him, "We won, Aldrich. We actually won. This was the first battle. I think the council will fight back. The council is going to do something about this. The council will retaliate. Let them do what they want. We will be ready for them." Emma looked out at the battlefield, then she turned around to look at the castle behind them. The castle was quiet and still. "We need to find some friends to help us. We should talk to kingdoms that are unhappy with the council and the way they are treating people. The council is being very mean and bossy. We need to show everyone that our way is better. We think that if people work together because they want to, it is stronger than making people do things they do not want to do. We want to prove that voluntary cooperation is a thing. The council makes people do things. We want people to help us because they want to. Over the few months, that is what happened. News of their win over Cassius got fast, and Emma was surprised that a lot of people reacted well to it. Some smaller kingdoms that were not happy with the council being in charge sent people to talk to them. Places where humans lived and were scared of vampires being mean to them thought that things might get better now. Emma and Aldrich went on a trip. This was something Aldrich had not done in a long time. They went to places near their home. They showed people the blood donor system. They wanted to show that humans and vampires could live together without any problems. Emma's power was getting stronger every day. As her power grew, she understood more about the barrier. She also learned more about the shadow creatures that the barrier kept away. Emma and Aldrich were happy to see that the barrier was working and that the shadow creatures were not bothering humans and vampires. The blood donor system was a success, and Emma and Aldrich were happy to see humans and vampires living together in peace. She found something that would change everything. The tear in the veil was not something that just happened. It was the gateway that the shadow creatures were trying to get through. The original Vampire Council made this tear on purpose a time ago. The Vampire Council wanted something that would always be a threat. This threat would make the vampire kingdoms need the council to protect them. The vampire kingdoms would be happy to give the council money to keep them safe. The Vampire Council and the vampire kingdoms were connected because of this threat. The tear in the veil was a deal for the vampire kingdoms and the original Vampire Council. When Emma showed the evidence to the kingdoms that were gathered together, people were really upset. The council was not seen as legitimate anymore. This happened very quickly. In one night, the council's reputation was ruined. 3 out of the 5 members of the council were forced out of their positions by the people they represented. The other 2 members, including Cassius, had to run and hide because they were afraid of what might happen to them. A new council was formed with people from 2 groups, vampires and humans. This council had representatives from both vampires and humans. Emma was asked to join the council. She said no. Emma's place was at Shadowmere, where she had to keep the barrier strong and show everyone that the new system, with vampires and humans, could really work. There was still something that needed to be taken care of. Vivian Hartley was still living a life in Hartley Manor. She had not been punished for what she did, which was cheating people and trying to kill someone. Emma had been busy dealing with problems, so she had not done anything about her stepmother Vivian Hartley yet. Now it was time to deal with Vivian Hartley and make her pay for what she did. It was a cold winter evening when Emma and Aldrich got to Hartley Manor. They came in a carriage. It was pulled by these horses that were so black they looked like shadows. Emma and Aldrich were dressed up fancy. They looked just like the vampire king and queen that they were. When the doors opened, it was Clarissa who came to say hello to them. When she saw Emma and Aldrich, Clarissa's face turned completely white because she was so shocked to see them. "Emma," she said quietly. "I thought you were dead." "Emma is not supposed to be alive. Emma was supposed to have died." Emma walked into the parlor where the fire was burning. Vivian was sitting by the fire. Emma said, "I am sure I am disappointing you." Vivian looked up at Emma. For the time that Emma could remember, Vivian looked really afraid of something. "Vivian told me that I should not be there." Her voice was shaking bad. "This is my home," she said. Vivian was really upset. She said it again, "This is my home," and she meant it. Aldrich said, "It is not that way." Then he showed them a paper that had the royal symbol on it. This house was something that belonged to Emma's father. He had a lot of things. This house was one of them. Since Emma is his real child, the house is really hers. You have been able to live because Emma let you, not because it is yours. I am her stepmother. That means I took care of her and raised her like she was my daughter. I raised her. Emma said this in a cold voice. You did not give her any food, she pointed out. You hurt her badly. You sold her so she would die of your own daughter. Then you sent someone to kill her and make sure she was really dead. Did you really think I would never find out what you did to her? Vivian's mask finally broke apart. What was I supposed to do, just stand by and let my Clarissa be taken away by some person? You were not important, Emma. You were not anybody special. Your father had you with a girl and he married her because he felt sorry for her. You did not deserve to be called a heartless. The words should have hurt. Emma felt only pity for them. You are about one thing, Emma said. I do not need the Hartley name. I am Emma Nightshade, now the Queen of Shadowmere. I am here to offer you a choice that will change everything for the people of Shadowmere and, for you. Emma Nightshade wanted to make it clear that she was not there to fight. To give them an option. She made her paper. You can give up everything you own. Leave this kingdom for good. I will make sure you have money to live a good life somewhere else, but you will never come back to the kingdom. You can go to court for cheating people, planning to kill someone, and being against the king. The king will kill you if you do any of those things. Vivian looked at the paper. Her hands started to shake. What about Clarissa? She thought to herself, what was going to happen to Clarissa? Emma looked at Clarissa, who was standing in the doorway and did not move. Clarissa may stay if Clarissa wishes to stay, Emma said. Clarissa was not the one who made these choices. Emma then told her stepsister, I will not punish Clarissa for the things you did. Vivian took the pen. Signed after a really long time. Vivian did not say goodbye to Clarissa. Vivian just picked up her things and walked out, keeping her back straight with what was left of her pride. When Clarissa was alone, Clarissa finally said something. Thank you for not yelling at Clarissa. I remember what it was like to live under her control, Emma said in a voice. I do not want anyone to go through that. This manor belongs to you now, Clarissa. You have to take care of the manor, Clarissa. She turned to leave. Clarissa called out. Emma, wait. I am really sorry for everything that happened. I feel bad about what I did. I should have stood up for Emma when it mattered. I should have said no when our mother told me to take Emma's place. The truth is, I was scared and I did not do the thing. I was a coward. I let Emma down. Emma looked back at her stepsister. You were really scared. You were young too. We all do things that we wish we had not done. What is important is what we do after that. She stopped talking for a moment. If you ever want to say sorry, come to Shadowmere. We always need people who want to help us make things better at Shadowmere. They left Clarissa standing in the doorway. You could see the hope and guilt fighting on her face. The carriage pulled away. Emma leaned against Aldrich's shoulder. He wanted to know if she will come. He asked this question. Will she really come? That is what he was asking. I really mean it. I will not act like Vivian. She is too hard on people because of who their family is. That is how things used to be. We are trying to do things now. I do not want to be, like Vivian, punishing people for things they cannot help. We are making a way. The years that came after were really tough. There were a lot of problems and times when things did not go well. Sometimes it seemed like things might go back to the way they were before. Things started to get better very slowly. The tithe system stopped in most of the kingdoms. They started blood donor programs, which were based on Emma's idea, and these programs became normal. Things, between humans and vampires, were still not easy. They got a lot better. The vampire kingdoms and the humans were able to work more, and this was a big change. The blood donor programs like the one Emma designed helped a lot. Emma and Aldrich were in charge of Shadowmere together. They worked as a team. Really cared about each other. As time went by, their relationship became very special. Emma and Aldrich. supported each other so much that it was more than just magic that held them together. Emma and Aldrich were each other's help, biggest comfort and biggest love. Emma's power just kept getting stronger. She used it in a good way. She made the barrier really strong, so strong that the shadow creatures finally stopped trying to get through it. When that problem was taken care of, Emma's power was used to fix the land. The land was hurt from centuries of fighting. Emma's power was used to heal it. Emma's power was helping to make the land a better place. She never forgot about her past. The girl who had to sleep in an attic and was treated very badly, that is a memory that stayed with her. This memory of the girl who had to sleep in an attic and was treated very badly kept her humble. It kept the girl who had to sleep in a cold attic and was treated very badly focused on making sure no other person would have to go through what the girl who had to sleep in a cold attic and was treated very badly had to go through. It had been 10 years since Emma first came to Shadowmere. She was standing on the balcony again, the one that used to scare her so much. Now Aldrich was with her. He put his arms around Emma's waist. Emma felt happy that Aldrich was there with her, at Shadowmere. He looked at me. Said, "Do you ever regret what you did?" He was talking about the choice I made that night when I was with the Inquisitors. Emma thought about everything that had happened to her. She thought about the battles that the people had fought. Emma remembered the sacrifices that the people had made. There was a lot of work to build a world. Emma thought about the love that people had for each other. She thought about the friendship that people had formed. Emma felt happy about making a difference in the world of the new world that Emma was helping to build. She told him, not for a moment. Then she turned in his arms. Kissed him. "I was sent to this place to die," she said. Something changed. She found a reason to keep living. They found a reason to live. The reason to live was each other. They found a reason to live together.